I'm pressing the start button.
Okay.
The button has been started.
All right. No more gamer words.
No more game. Stop it! Oh my god! You're gonna get us banned.
Yeah.
They're gonna put us in timeout. They're gonna make us. They're gonna make us like compliment people and stuff if you keep doing that.
Damn. I'm not good at that.
Complimenting people?
Yeah. I like putting people down.
Same. I
Bring them to
compliment.
my level.
Yeah, exactly. I compliment like 10 people, and everybody else is like, "Wow, man, you're really gonna go out wearing that? That's interesting." Anyways.
I usually keep that shit to myself.
No, I would never say that. That's beyond fucked. I would never say that. That's super mean. Even I have my limits of meanness. I would not say that. I would keep that to myself.
Hope you're not going to the mirror store today.
There's gonna be a lot of payments, man. Goddamn.
Yeah, you break it, you buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you got a high credit limit.
Oh Lord, oh dear Lord. Anyways, hello, welcome podcast Thingamabobbers. Today's topics include stuff and things, and funny Monster Hunter Thingamabobbers. All right,
Let's go.
toss a funny memory at me right now. Frame one.
Oh
instantly.
no. Oh no. Sleeping Kazoos.
Yes. My favorite.
I don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that.
That's what
I have to get the IV drip going. You know.
You gotta get the creative juices flowing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like 2 days ago when I was fighting Risen Valstrax, and it decided to shoot like 8 beams in a row.
Jesus.
It hit me with one. It hit my friend with one. Then it killed my friend's friend with a beam, and then it hit me. And then after that, Valstrax was like, "Fuck it. If it works, right?" And it just kept doing it. And I was like, Valstrax, he figured the strat.
I don't think I've played Rise since like. Oh God, what was the last monster I fought in Rise? It's been a while. Like I haven't fought Chaos Gore. I haven't beaten.
Okay.
I haven't beaten Velkhana. I like jumped into a Velkhana fight with a couple of my friends, but that was like the first thing I had done in months, so I just got fucked up.
Yeah, you probably got absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, because I was playing Lance, and I don't like. I think Lance might be an okay weapon for that fight, but you really got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play Lance for that fight, I was getting faked out the wazoo. That fight is fucked up in Rise. They actually started making stuff hard.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And they released Amatsu last week, and holy shit, they changed Amatsu's fight so much.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, Amatsu's fight is off the wall now, and it's fantastic.
Is it fun?
It's super fun.
Nice. You're not just like sitting there throwing boomerangs for 20 minutes.
Second phase sinks into bullshit a little bit. Where it's like second phase is like she's like you never have any time to like do anything. If you're playing a slow weapon, good fucking luck, because you're not gonna be able to hit her.
Damn.
Because she's always doing shit. Like
I mean, what if I'm countering?
I mean, you could do that too, but she also has a lot of multi hits. So.
Oh.
Damn it. From what I've seen, I wanted to try Lance on her, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna.
Yeah. I've done. I need to practice with longsword again.
Yeah.
I need to get that back up.
Yeah, I also need to just play more weapons. I've been using the same like 4 weapons nonstop, and I should probably get back into using other weapons.
But I've always been kind of a 2-hit wonder. I don't know. I think that's an okay way to play the game.
Yeah. I think having 2. I like playing everything just because that's just how I prefer to play. But the end game is usually like, hey, you pick 2 really good weapons, and there you go. Those are your options.
Yeah.
If you want to make your life with afflicteds easier.
Yeah, I guess I also play guns, but I feel like guns don't count as weapons.
Guns are like completely separate.
Yeah, I say that, but like, I don't know. Another group of friends that I like run with on Twitch started playing Monster Hunter Rise, and they all got into G rank, and they just all play guns.
Yeah.
They're always like on their knees, fucking begging me to play with them because they need a lance player to soak up all the aggro.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you guys?
Kind of funny.
Why don't you guys try playing a weapon? I don't know.
You guys could learn other weapons. You know, there's what, like 16 of them, like 17, 18 of them. You could learn other weapons.
Yeah. But also, like, there's so much good evasion in light bow gun.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're getting hit.
Yeah, you literally 1 point of evade extender is enough to like never get hit. Like.
Guns are so funny. I guess that is like a funny moment. Back when we would farm in like before Master Rank came out, when we would farm the Magnum Hollow with our fucking bow guns. It would just be hours of us like stun locking it over and over again with stun ammo.
That's how we did. That's how we did it too. And I mean, I think you joined us a little bit on Switch, but that's how like me and my main group would do it. Is there would be 3 slicing and a sticky, and and then the monster they would die in like he would die in like 2 minutes, rinse and repeat until you got what you wanted, which is usually for like hours.
Finally, your fucking plate. Magnum Hollow plates.
I have like in base Rise, I had like I want to say almost 1,000 hours, and probably like at least 20 of that was probably fighting Magnum Hollow specifically.
Yeah. It is always silly looking at like the spread of the monsters you fought. For me, it's always Rathian is the highest.
Yeah, Rathian might be my second highest.
Farming the curio stuff.
Yeah, Rathian might be my second highest because I just fight her a lot for curio stuff, and also she's a really fun hammer fodder monster.
Yeah, I like fighting her with Lance. You can kind of just like, you can kind of just AFK that fight with Lance.
You can kind of just be like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and the counter Lance is a lot of fun too, because like the flips are super telegraphed, so you just get the counter every time.
Right.
And she's just low enough to the ground that you can hit her with both hits of the cross slice, so you get like 1,000 damage every time.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
I've been using Lance for progression on PC, and it's been really fun. Just like
shit is a lot of fun.
Just being like, whatever, man. It's like every time they try to hit you, just like parry. Okay, what next? Oh, parry again. Oh, guess what? Parry again. You're just like, are you done yet? And then
have you been using the wirebug skill where you just like jump around like a maniac?
Yes.
Yeah. And for some reason, you're holding your shield up while it's happening.
Yeah. Because
that shit is crazy. Yeah, I'm like jumping through laser beams and shit. It's so funny. That was like the one time where I was having an okay time with the Velkhana fight, was just like I saw it trying to ramp up a move and then I jumped. And somehow like I got through it every time.
One of my favorite ones is to do Soaring Wyvern Blade with Switch Axe over stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like if a monster's just like, I'm gonna shoot a fireball, you're just like, okay, and then you just go over it.
I tried playing Switch Axe for a while. I never think I was bad with it, but it was just, I don't know. There's not a lot going on with that weapon, to be honest.
It's just a really consistent, easy weapon, is why a lot of people, especially like in a late game, is one of the reasons why I use it. It's because it's just consistent. It's not like I don't need a whole lot of setup for my high damage, or I don't need a lot of setup to do my flippy dips. I just push a button, I'm in the air, I do Soaring Wyvern, I do 600 damage. It's
I think
very simple.
I think the consistency weapon for me is Longsword.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, every time I play Switch Axe, I'm like, why am I not playing Longsword? I feel like I could do, like me personally, could do everything I do with Switch Axe better with Longsword.
Yeah. Because Longsword and Switch Axe share a lot of similar. They have a lot of like very like counter, depending on how you play Switch Axe, because obviously
Yeah.
there is the there's like
Evasion swags.
there's the evasion swags, there's the counter switch skill now, which I barely use because you don't really need it.
Yeah.
But they share a lot of similarities and like they're very like, I don't want to say forward. They're like momentum based weapons because like when a monster falls down when you're playing either of those weapons, you basically know immediately what to do. Like you're like,
Yep.
okay, I know my high damage shit almost immediately.
Yeah, that is kind of the bummer about Lance is like you're never doing more damage when they're down. I guess like technically you could be doing the side swipes.
Mm-hmm.
And there is that one switch skill that I see speedrunners use all the time. The one where like the sky piercer thing.
Yeah.
I am never able to land enough hits with that to make it worth using.
It's really good against the Rathalos and Rathian, especially if you hit the wings, because it goes based off of their body, and it's really good on Silver Los's wings.
Yeah.
It's okay on. I use it on Orange Bishoten just because it's funny. Because Bishoten will like shoot like a fire thing, and I'm
just real tall too.
Yeah.
Might be able to get a third hit in.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I need at least 3 hits with that move to make it even like considered. But when monsters are down, like you're never gonna get 3 hits.
Yeah.
And it always feels so risky to throw myself into the sky in like master rank hunts.
Yeah. And so against certain monsters, the sky is the safest place you can be. But against other ones, it's like the worst possible place. It's borderline asking you to die.
Yeah. Like if I'm in the sky, I'd rather be using the tether switch skill.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones is when you latch onto a monster with Switch Axe, and you're like, "This is a horrendous idea," but I'm gonna do it.
You just like you see your life bar depleting.
Yeah.
Your whole life flashing before your eyes.
You're just like this. It's been real, guys. See you later, guys. I guess we're failing this quest. I did that yesterday. We were fighting. We were fighting Risen. I didn't die. We were fighting Risen, Shigaro Magala, and I latched onto him. He did his slam, and then he did like his beam directly from his mouth, and I was at maybe like 10% health. And I was like, this was a horrible idea. But then I immediately sawing Wyvern Blade out of the way. I was like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I feel like when I play Switch Axe, I'm always like, I'm taking too many risks.
Yeah.
You know, it won't hit me.
It won't kill me.
Like,
it's not gonna kill me.
I remember I was trying to hunt, I think, Gormagala, because Gormagala is, unfortunately, just kind of a pain in the ass with Lance.
Yeah.
Just because like how the explosions work, you're never facing them.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of the time you get smacked around even if you are blocking at the right time. So I was like trying to hunt it with Switch Axe, because it seemed like you guys were having a great time hunting Gore with Switch Axe. But I'd latch onto the front legs and then he'd start running forward and it would be fucking over. Like the hitbox from running would just smack the fuck out of me. It was
the fun thing for Switch Axe is to have Blood Right on it, and you like after you break a monster's part that you want to latch onto consistently, that shit's free. Like you never die. Like unless like
you just absolutely slurp that shit up.
Yeah, unless you're absolutely greedy and like do it like all of the time.
Yeah, I think I only have one Blood Right build and it's on Hammer. Which is a pretty good weapon for it, but because you're always going for the head.
Yeah, I for some reason did Dereliction Blood Right Hammer, and I was like, that's stupid because the whole point is for me to not have max health.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a safety precaution kind of thing for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like, especially like in higher level hunts. I'm gonna remake my sets to have my Switch Axe ones that I don't need max health for. I don't need like my health to be decreasing. Is really good.
Yeah.
Which is most of them. because like the only thing that I really run is like it would probably be good on bow because like with the Nephilim armor, it's chaotic Gore's armor. When you switch into blue scroll, you have unlimited stamina.
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, no, it's fun. Oh yeah, no, oh yeah, the Nephilim bow is fucking busted. I mean, the Nephilim set's busted.
I would guess it would be busted for bow, which is why
Yeah.
you had that little slip there.
Yeah, and also Bloodlust.
Probably good
too.
for dual blades too.
Yeah, it'd be really good for dual blades.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then like
That sounds
we
cool.
got
Yeah, I
we
do
got
need
new
to.
stuff
I need to. Okay.
like Risen Shugaru's new ability is Frenzied Bloodlust, where every single armor piece that has that gives you Bloodlust. So you're giving yourself Frenzy. Every time you conquer Frenzy, you get one free wire bug for like a minute. At level 3, it's a minute and 30 seconds, as long as Protected Polish lasts. And you're like, that's ridiculous. So you could have a max of 4 wire bugs. Not to mention Dragon Conversion, just making Charge Blade just do fuck you levels of damage. Like with the right setup and Dragon Conversion with Charge Blade, your Axe Hopper hits will be doing almost. I've seen people hit thousands per hit.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, there's telling you, man, you gotta catch up. There's a lot of broken shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like all the stuff I hear about is super cool. It's just
I get it. It's and also, but also like
I've-
grinding up to it is not fun.
yeah. Well, and I've not played for so long
Yeah,
that I'd have to like relearn how to play the game, and all the content is harder than like when I was playing.
yeah.
So
Well, the good news is that at some point you will have me to go to, because I've been slowly catching up to. I got a Steam Deck dock yesterday, so
Oh,
I'm
nice.
I'm going to be getting back into playing it on the PC, because the whole thing.
How far are you on the PC version?
I'm MR4.
Okay,
So, like,
okay.
I'm not gonna buy Sunbreak until I'm ready to play Sunbreak. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're going through MR like by yourself, right?
yeah, for the most
Or
part.
are you playing with people? Okay.
I mostly tell people to like, I'm like, hey, I'm doing rampages. I don't want to do it by myself. Please make my life a little
Yeah,
easier.
that's fair.
And maybe like
That's
towards the
super
end,
fair.
maybe like towards the end of high rank, where I'm like, fuck it, who cares, you know? It's not even like a I can do it myself kind of thing. It's like I'm having a lot of fun playing the game by myself again. Like, you know, just playing it and having fun. Because that's the best
Yeah,
part about
little
working.
independence.
Yeah, that's the best part about playing the game. And like, especially like when you start new characters or like when you're just playing, you know, it's really fun to just play by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I could not start as many characters as you have. I don't know how many times you've played through Rise, but that shit is alien to me.
I have played through Rise 3 times. I played it very. I'm not even like HR2 on Xbox, but I have played it a little bit on Xbox. Mostly Rise on Switch and PC, and probably PlayStation because my brother wants to play with me.
Okay.
But after that, I'm done.
Yeah,
Like, I'm retiring from Rise after that.
I can barely. I don't know. I really shouldn't have went on as hard on Rise on Switch as I did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that I got literally every piece of layered armor in high rank.
Yes, so did I.
And like that was a good grind. It was a good like goal that I set for myself.
Yeah.
But goddamn, did I not want to play that game anymore? And then, and then Rise came out on PC, and I was like, well, everyone I know online would rather play it on PC, except for Rag. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I went through with that, and then Sunbreak came out, and there was a good honeymoon period with that.
Well, if you ever decide that you want to love me again, You know where to find me. I'm kidding. I'll just catch
I
up on
always love
PC.
you, Rag.
Hell yeah. I'll always catch up on. I'll catch up on PC, and then I will.
Yeah, I'm not about to buy Sunbreak on a system
No.
that's 30 FPS locked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not happening.
I will. I will just rise the power again, and then I will
So
destroy the
true.
game. We
That's the
always.
shit.
What is a Monster Hunter game you could see yourself playing like multiple times, like just starting the game all over again? Because mine was
I
4U.
mean,
I played through
oh
4U
yeah,
like seven different
I
times.
played through 4U at least 3 times.
Yeah, I played through it 7 different times.
Yeah. I've honestly I've been considering like setting up the Citra 4U stuff again
Uh-huh.
to play through that game. That game is so good.
I want to set up Citra on my Steam Deck, and then I want to play 4U again.
Oh man, that would be sick. I don't. It'd be kind of tough because of the split screen stuff, but you could probably make it work. I'm
Yeah,
sure someone's already like made some sort of setup for the Steam Deck screen.
Yeah. I also want to play 3 Ultimate again.
Okay.
3 Ultimate was like
Free
okay,
Ultimate.
yeah. So
I think I still have that game on my shelf.
I
I don't
started
know
with
if you can
Steam
play it
Deck.
online.
I think you still can. I'm pretty sure you still can.
Okay.
I started on Freedom Unite, and then the second game that I played was 3 Ultimate. And 3 Ultimate is what made me fall in love with Monster Hunter, because anybody who's played Freedom Unite is not friendly. So
yeah, I played a bit of Freedom Unite.
it has. See, it's kind of like it's kind of like Final Fantasy and Monster Hunter, where like the first one you play, you'll always be attached to it. I'll always be attached to Freedom Unite. Same thing with people who like started with World. They'll always love World, no matter what you do. You know, it's like it's your first game. You're gonna love it. Obviously, it's the first one.
Yeah, I had a couple friends who started playing World, and like I was looking at them, like I was lurking in their chats, and they were like, "Oh man, they should make World 2." Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, you should not.
No, they shouldn't.
You should actively stop talking about that. But
yeah. I don't know, man.
World doesn't need us. I don't think there's ever been a game that gets like a second version of that. Like this, I mean, not like a second version, but like a sequel, is what they're trying to say.
I mean, like, yeah, I guess the main Monster Hunter line kind of did that, where they just had like 1, 2, 3, but every generation had like a distinct, like gimmick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess the word gimmick, I feel like doesn't lend enough credit to the series.
Yeah.
But that is kind of what it is. Like 3 had swimming.
Yeah.
And
4 Ultimate.
4 had mounting.
And like Y stones and all that shit.
Yeah. And then like Generations had the skills.
World is World's gimmick was
World had like
anti-fun.
Well, no, the grappling hook stuff.
Oh,
which did become anti-fun, but yeah. Well, and also, I don't know. I appreciate a lot of things World did.
Oh yeah, so do I. I always say that I can't.
Like the tracking bugs and the camps. There's a lot of good changes for.
Somebody told me that it's misguided Monster Hunter. Like it didn't know if it wanted to. It was the first game on like a major console since the PlayStation 2. So they didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't know if they wanted to make it more friendly to new players or to pull in old players. And they definitely leaned it more towards new players, which is why a lot of veterans don't really like the game that much.
Yeah, there are a lot more people, like at that time, there were a lot more people who didn't play Monster Hunter than there were that did. So like that, from a business standpoint, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I really appreciate that they dialed it back. Like, they made the game that made everyone aware of what Monster Hunter was, and then they kind of like went back to form with Rise, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, they went back to the game being really, because like one of the things that
arcadey.
One of the things that I didn't like about World was that the game, you are slowed down. The monsters are not. But in Rise, you are really fast, and so are the monsters. So you can keep up with them.
Yeah.
But I agree. World did a lot of like small changes, right? Like being able to eat in the middle of a hunt, or being able to change your weapon, or like more customizable item loadouts and weapon loadouts and all the. It was a bunch of really cool shit that they added. They took like
Oh
five steps
man,
forward, two steps back in every single mechanic.
it's kind of off topic. Last time I played Rise, they finally fucking made like armor sets that came with item sets,
Yeah, the hunter loadout.
that came with layered sets.
Yeah, it's so fucking
That's
good.
so cool. I need to set that shit up like
So
yesterday.
I've been setting it up. I've been doing it.
It's so oh
Yeah.
man, like it's such a no brainer.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't add it earlier, but I'm
I don't know
so
why it
glad they
wasn't to
did
begin.
add it.
They shadow dropped it too. They didn't even say anything about it. Like they
Yeah.
just dropped it.
Well, I was so surprised. I like opened up the menu and I realized like, hey, my muscle memory for these menus is kind of fucked up. It's because they added another thing that like completely invalidates all my muscle memory.
Yeah.
I don't need to memorize
also,
all these
like,
menus anymore.
It's so great, like especially like mid hunt where I'm just like, okay, I don't want to like change my
Oh,
equipment.
true. You can change
then
layered
also-
armor mid hunt now.
yeah.
Oh,
It's not
man.
even that. It's like because like if you wanted to change weapons mid hunt, before you'd have to change equipment loadouts, change your armor set, go to weapons, change your weapon, change your item loadout, and then go through all the menus again. But now you go boom, boom, and then you're out. You're already gone. Like you're already
So
back
good.
in the fight.
So good. Like this is fucking game devs need to take notes.
Yes.
Anybody else would have made us pay for it too.
Yeah.
You know they would have.
You're like boom, boom. It's like hunter loadout. Well, okay, boom. You can register the item loadout layered and the actual weapon set, which is fucking fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
so you're just like boom, boom, and then you're out, and you're already in the hunt again. Instead of like having to go through like 3 different menus to change your item loadout for guns. Like, oh my god, and it's a godsend for guns. Oh my lord.
Yeah. You don't have to like memorize which item set goes with which gun.
Yes.
You can just equip the gun and have it be good to go.
I can equip the layered, equip the armor set, and then equip the item set, and I'm out, and I'm already in the fight. And it's just so god, it's so sexy. Like,
Yeah. Definitely unnecessary change.
yeah, because I think that's what a lot of people complained. I think a lot of people complained about that. I said it like in base Rise. I was like, as soon as they showed layers, I was like, why isn't this a thing? Why can't we just do this? It doesn't make any sense.
Like you could get layered sets, but you could never tie them to the weapon sets.
Which is why like you end up seeing. I ended up just walking around with the same layered set like all of the time because I was too late. I didn't want to change it. I was too lazy to change it.
Yeah, it was the same way.
But now I can actually like add flair to my armors, like to my weapons and shit. Not to mention, and then on top of that, you have layered weapons, which is it's genius. It's so smart. Like layered weapons is something that, like as soon as they had layered armor, I was like,
layered weapons?
Yeah, you can layer your weapons now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man, come on, dude, look at the time.
I'm still catching up.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I should maybe to refresh myself with weapons. I should go through and get all of the high rank layereds again, and then start getting the master rank ones.
If you ever want to like play Monster Hunter like side by side, I'm totally down for it.
Yeah.
Like where we just like sit in a voice chat and just play Monster Hunter together, or like just talk.
Yeah,
about
if I ever sit down, you know, you're one of the first people I go to when I'm playing the game. So.
when you play Monster Hunter, you're like, huh, what's Rag doing?
Exactly.
That's a lot of people.
This motherfucker doesn't have a life. He can probably play with me. Let's go.
What time is it? Is he working? No, he's not. All right, come join me. Okay.
He's free. He's gonna make time for me.
It's Monster Hunter. Yeah, exactly. Especially for you, for sure. It's Monster Hunter. It's Monster Hunter and Wolf easily.
That's like intersection of the two best things ever.
Yeah. This is a call out post to Wolf to finish Tales of Aurora. You're at the end of the game. Just finish the game.
Look. My PS5's right here. I could. Yeah. I mean, I could do that
Yo,
at some
finish it.
point.
Yo, finish it live on stream.
Playing the last dungeon
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Tales of Arise.
The last dungeon on Tales of Arise on the podcast, and just getting your reaction from it. That's it.
I'll upload it to my YouTube VODs channel, and it'll just be Tales of Arise finale. Nothing before that.
There's a lot of people who do that. Like, who just do the finale of the game.
I mean, I know there are people who just like skip to the last episode of a playthrough, which is fucking weird to me. Like, especially for a game as story oriented.
Yeah.
Uh,
unless I played it once already, I don't skip cutscenes.
Yeah.
Unless you're Final Fantasy X, it doesn't let you skip cutscenes anyways. You fucking dicks. Just okay. Square Enix, please, for the love of God, release a version of Final Fantasy X that lets me skip the fucking cutscenes. Your cutscenes are like 30 fucking minutes long.
Can't you skip them in the PC version?
I don't know if you can in the PC version, but
I remember I played Final Fantasy X. Oh, okay. You have to download a tool, but you can get it to happen. You can like download a program called FFX Cutscene Remover.exe, and then if it's running, it will automatically skip any cutscene.
I think that's what some speedrunners use too. I'm pretty sure some speedrunners use it.
That would make sense if the times are like recorded, like without
in-game time, I think.
Cutscenes. Oh, does cutscene not contribute to in-game time? I guess it makes sense.
See, the thing about it is that like I watched a speedrunner, because like he was doing like a platinum speedrun. I don't know. I hadn't talked to you in a while, but I had COVID a couple weeks ago, so like I was just like confined. I was just like confined to my room. So I was like, I need like because I was long stints in bed, like all day, like 18-hour times in bed. So I was like, I need something to like keep me.
And it fucking sucks.
Yeah, so I watched like an entire. I basically watched like a 40-hour playthrough of a platinum speedrun of Final Fantasy X, and I was just like,
Jesus.
I watched it, and I was like, first off, it's cool, and secondly, it made me realize how much I don't want to. It made me realize I don't want to platinum that game.
Oh yeah, I just played through Final Fantasy X, and I was looking at what you needed to like get some of the ultimate weapons, and
like the flower mini game and like the cactus
not
shit
fucking worth it.
The dodging 250 lightning bolts.
Yeah, well that one's like the most doable one in my opinion.
You turn off as long as you have a turn off encounter thing, it's fine. Like you just sit there, dodge lightning bolts, and then do it. I did it once on PlayStation. Yeah, no, Blitzball is a pain in the ass.
Fuck that.
People who understand Blitzball love Blitzball. Those of us who don't want to take time to learn an entirely separate minigame when the game already has like 80 of them. Like
yeah. Well, there's also like the monster manual shit.
Yeah, there's that.
You have to go back to every area, capture everything.
You got to capture monsters. There's that. Then there's the butterfly mini game. Then there's the chocobo mini games. Then there's the cactuar mini game. And there's just so much shit you have to do.
Yeah, if they had introduced collecting monsters at the beginning of the game,
earlier in the game, it would have been fine.
Yeah, but it's literally like the second to last area.
It's literally it's when you reach the Calm. It's when you reach the Calmlands, like basically the point in the time where you have to grind. But I wish that they did show it earlier, or like let me buy like the taming weapons earlier. I actually wonder if you could hack in a taming weapon, and then just like use it throughout the game.
Maybe.
I wonder if it would even count as you capturing them, because I don't know if there's like a trigger for it where you have to like talk to the guy first to like count it towards collecting, or if you could just do it from the beginning of the game and just give yourself a capture weapon and then just do it throughout the game.
That's an interesting question. I guess like if you had a save file that was right before the Calmlands, you could hack in the weapon kill a couple dudes, and then see if you got the progress as soon as
Yeah.
you get there.
Or like if it even, because you know every time you capture a monster, it's like, hey, this monster was captured, and I wonder if you
True.
play through the entire game, and if like I said, if there was like a trigger point where like after you talk to the person, then it starts keeping track of it.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine? I'm sure some people have tried it. I might have to do like research on it. Because if I can, I'll play it on PC, and that's what I'll do. I'll hack in the capture shit like immediately, and just like have a capture weapon from the start, and just do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, man, like I'm so torn on Final Fantasy X. I
Yeah,
think
same.
like at the end of the game, sorry, at the end of the day, it's a good game,
Hmm.
and there are some really cool systems. Like I love the level up system in that
Yeah.
game.
Oh, the sphere grid is. I love the sphere grid.
Yeah, it's so much better than Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Final Fantasy 12. I
It's
know,
all.
like that's kind of a hot take, but that game is so trash.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think most people are half and half on 12. I think most people either love or hate 12.
Man, that game is
12 is
so
12 is
bad.
probably one of the most divisive besides 13 and like 15.
Yeah,
Because after 1 through 10, most people collectively agree that 1 through 10 are like the magnum opus of Final Fantasy. And then once you start sinking past 10, opinions start kind of diverting a little bit.
yeah.
Besides maybe like 2 and 3. I think 2 and 3 are god awful Final Fantasy games.
I have to like sit down and play a couple of them. I don't know.
Well, the Pixel remasters
I don't think
are out, so you could buy the
I
Pixel
haven't.
remasters.
Oh, that's true. That's
1 through
true.
6. Yeah.
Damn, I'd love to play 6 again. It's such a
Oh
fucking
my
good game.
dude. As somebody who has 100%ed Final Fantasy 6 on Steam. And
Okay.
all of the music is orchestral, and everything is so much quality of life shit. Like I'd assume you remember
Oh,
Cyan
really?
and his
Like
whole
the Pixel remaster?
yeah, his whole thing was like for Cyan you like pick an ability and then he'd have like a gauge that fills up and you have to wait. But now
Yeah.
you pick the ability and then it goes to the next person's turn. It charges it off screen, like it does it
Oh.
automatically. Isn't it?
Oh,
I know.
shit.
It's fucking great.
Oh. Man.
And like there's so much
Yeah, I
shit.
gotta play that game again.
I think for Gao, the Velt guy, I think it tells you like what abilities he has when like you get him. Like it tells you like what his main thing is, and like all of the
Okay.
positive and negative effects. There's a lot. There's a few things that they've changed.
Yeah. I want to play 5 again too. I never
Yeah.
finished 5. I got
I
pretty
have 5.
close.
I have
think,
5
but
on Steam. I should probably play it.
5 I think is like it's no 6, but it is
I
up
think
there with my
I
favorite
think
Final Fantasy
5.
games.
I think 5 is the prime example of the job class system done right.
Right.
Minus like the
Yeah, I
end
think
of the
5
game.
is like
Minus like the end of the game where like those very obvious classes that you should use to make fights laughably easy.
right. I think 5 is like the prototype of Bravely Default.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. The thing that I don't
Bravely
like about
Default definitely like did better at the end of the day,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
but super good.
The thing that I don't like about 10 is the characters and the story. I think the story's really lame. Actually, no. The first half of the story is kind of lame, where like you don't know what's going on, and then once you find out like what's happening and like all the shit that they don't talk about for like 90% of the game is cool. But and then I dislike most of the characters in 10. I don't like Titus. Yuna's okay. I want to punch Waka in the face. Lulu's okay also. She doesn't really have. She's just big titty waifu who marries Waka. She's just big titty waifu who marries Waka in the second one. Despite them having like no on-screen chemistry, but whatever.
I never played the second one.
Riku is jailbait. but oh my god, Riku's fucking busted. Everybody who plays Final Fantasy X needs to learn how to use Riku. She is the single most broken character in the game.
I am pretty sure she was on my main squad
She
when
is
I played.
her mixed ability is unfair if you know how to use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will borderline not lose any fight. Like if you know what to do, you won't lose a fight.
I don't know. like part of why I like 10 so much is because at the end of the game, like bosses started to become like super boss level,
Yeah.
like interesting puzzles. Like I
Like
remember the
the last
fight
fight
with
with Seymour.
yeah. Well, there's like the fight with God where
Yeah.
like she would cast zombieism on you. I forget what
Yeah.
her like Unalesca or something.
Unalesca, yeah.
Yeah, or she'd like cast zombieism on you and then like constantly heal you.
Yeah.
And if you cured zombieism, she would one shot you
Yeah.
potentially. I thought that was a really cool like
Yeah.
kind of tug of war with
Yeah.
your life pool that
Same
I
thing with
don't
the
experience a
second
lot.
I think it was like the Seymour fight on Mount. I'm gonna say Gagazet. Is it Gagazet? I think it's Gagazet. I also might be thinking of like a different Final Fantasy, but like when he like zombies you and then like uses rays on you, so you die and your character dies instantly. So like you
Yeah,
kind of have
I
to
think
like
that
you
was
have to like deal with it. You know, like there's
yeah, that was
mechanics that
the
are so
introduction
outlandish.
to the zombieism
Yeah,
intricate like and I don't know. I feel like Final Fantasy games don't really utilize that kind of stuff
yeah,
as much as they should.
yeah.
I
There's a
know they
lot
do it
of
a lot in 14,
yeah,
but I can't be fucking bothered to play an MMO.
yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of games that there's a lot of fights that become there's basically like one of my favorite things about the game is that there's like 80 different ways to take on a boss fight.
Yeah.
Like for example, like there's a boss fight that you fight. It's like the robot boss that you fight, and I use the same strategy that a lot of people use on Dark Bahamut, where basically you have somebody taunt him and then that person defends, and everybody else just attacks him while your healer heals him. And like it's just like an infinite loop of where like you're safe, or you could like break them and do a bunch of shit, and then you could just nuke them with spells. You could do that too, but I like to like treat the battles differently. You could see in so many of the fights, there's so many different ways to beat them,
Yeah. And that's always I
and
think
also
what
team comp is really important too.
yeah, that's what makes that type of like the job systems I think lend really well to
Yeah,
that kind of creative uh like solutions to boss fights,
yeah,
which is why I really like job systems. It's why I like Bravely Default. I
yeah,
that game is definitely flawed. Um but specifically the first one. I think Bravely Default 2 is like a tighter experience, but it kind of lost a lot of the charm of the first one because they made it too balanced.
right.
Uh, just let me break shit in your video
Yeah,
game.
just let me be insanely busted. Like with like Final Fantasy V, if you know what class gives what, and you get the busted shit early,
Yeah,
the game is
you
easy
get
mode.
double cast,
Yeah.
cast black magic. All right, double cast
Well,
summoner. God forbid.
yeah. God forbid you need a summoner anymore, right? Uh,
Yeah,
and then on top of that, like for example, there's a lot of busted ways to like break Final Fantasy VI. It's another one of those games where there's like a bunch of different ways. If you know how to exploit the system, there's a bunch of different ways to like beat the boss. Like for
which Final
example,
Fantasy? Sorry, you cut out.
six, six.
Six. Okay, okay.
So for example, like they didn't make some bosses immune to Berserk. So what you would do is you would Berserk the boss and then cast the one that gives you like invisibility, and the boss cannot hit you. It cannot. You cannot lose. It can't do anything to you because Berserk lasts until the boss dies. So
That's awesome.
it can't stop you. And you can
Yeah,
also
just
do that.
like, let me choose fights.
Yeah,
Reward me for thinking about it.
Reward
That's
me
what
for knowing about the game. Like
yeah.
you can also do that. The funny thing is, you could do that to the Holy Dragon in the tower, the Magic Tower, uh, and it still works. Like it, and then like you just nuke the dragon to death. Like you just you just nuke the Holy Dragon.
Incredible.
It's so funny. Like stuff like that. You know, that's like, oh my god, this is so great. You know, like it encourages me to not only like know mechanics, but like ways to break the game and like rewards me for knowing a boss. Like on the floating continent, you can, instead of killing Ultimate Weapon like when he has like 100,000 HP or some shit, instead of killing him like that, you can just drain his MP and he dies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And as
I
opposed
found
to like,
a secret unlockable health bar.
yeah. I think most of the bosses like that. Some enemies are like, a lot of enemies are like that too. A lot of like undead enemies are like that.
You just suck the magic out of them and they die.
Yeah, you just use rasp. I think a lot of it's the floating continent because a lot of them are like magic enemies. So like if you just siphon the
That's
magic
really
out of
cool.
them,
I
they
never knew
die.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few more bosses like that too.
I love that games have the capacity to like have that happen.
Yeah.
You know,
especially like old school.
I should be able to say it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they do that with, and like even like understand like you could either nuke the game. One of the biggest complaints that I have about Magic in that game is that Magic is so good, your physical characters don't matter. Like I love
in
Locke.
6.
Yeah, in 6.
Oh,
like,
in 10.
No, in 6 too. Like in 6, like Locke, like all of the physical characters don't matter because they're single target for the most part, or you could just like have Terra cast Fire Raga and nuke everybody, and then the battle's over.
Fair enough.
Or I mean,
I don't know. I used a lot of physical stuff in 10.
I do for 6. I usually do 3 like physical attackers and then a magic user.
But the magic user is the one doing everything.
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you match them with like good people, like I have like for example, I have like an AFK magic team. I mean like a physical team. So it was like Sabin, Cyan, and like Celis. So Celis would do runic, and if you're fighting a magic enemy, and then Sabin would activate his abilities, and then I do Sabin's abilities, and then I just sit there and like let them do their shit, you know.
Hell yeah.
Also, one of the most convenient things that they did was if you're doing auto battle in Final Fantasy VII Remaster, I mean Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster, it automatically does the last blitz command that you did for Sabin. So you don't have to keep entering. I know. You just set the game to auto battle and you win. Like
that's insane.
Yeah, it's
all right.
So
yeah,
convenient.
I gotta get the Pixel Remaster of 6.
You do. I will watch.
Is there like a bundle?
There is a bundle, but it's like $70.
I mean,
I
don't know.
I'll watch you play them. They're also on PlayStation if you care about platinum trophies.
I do not. I have 0 platinum trophies.
Luckily,
I don't plan to collect them.
The thing about that game is that they are really easy to 100%. They're just like stuff that you would do throughout the game. Yeah, the stuff that you would do throughout the game anyways.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are they called something other than Pixel Remaster? I can't find them on Steam. Maybe I can just search for Final Fantasy.
It's their normal number games.
Oh, okay.
Like Final Fantasy 1.
So, like the Final Fantasy 2 on Steam is the Pixel Remaster.
Yeah.
Okay. The 1 to 6 bundle for $75. Okay. I'll consider it.
Mine's 23 because I bought a few of them already.
Yeah. I might just pick and choose the ones I want to play. I have a bunch of these games, but I don't like a lot of the remakes. I would rather just play like sprite versions of them.
I think the only ones that I didn't get are 2 and 3. So I have all the ones. Yeah, $73 is a fair price for all of them, and you'll get plenty of time out of them.
Yeah. Oh, and it comes with the OST of all of them.
Yeah, but the thing about the OST is that it comes with like 4 songs.
Oh,
Yep.
that's not an OST. That's a
Last time I
crumb.
last time I checked, they came with like 4 of the songs. I know Final Fantasy VI came with like 4 of them.
I mean, it's very easy to acquire MP3 files. I'm
Yeah,
not
exactly.
super pent up about it. It just seems like a weird thing to include as like a value proposition. Okay. I'll definitely consider that.
Yeah, it's worth it. Or like you could just buy like the ones that you want, and then like the price will go down of it, and then just buy it in bulk
True.
later.
Yeah, it'd probably just be better to like get the one I want to play when I want to play it, and then
Yeah. For
go on
example,
from
like
there.
I would save money if I bought the last 2 that I own in a bundle. I would save like $10-$20, I think.
Mm.
Actually, no, maybe $20 is a bit much. I think maybe like actually probably not even that. Let's see. The bundle is $23, and one is 17, I think, and one is 11. Yeah, so 17. Yeah, I'd save a bit. I'd say maybe like $13 because it'll probably tie up to like 30 if I buy both of them separately. So I'd save like
Yeah.
$7-8, which is fine by me. You probably save a decent amount too. I think it also depends on which ones you buy, which is weird, but because the prices are different. Like
Yeah, it seems like it's just 20% off, and then or like 22% off.
yeah,
So,
one and two are like 11, and then all the other ones are 17.
well, yeah, because 1 and 2 are short ass games.
Yeah,
Does Final? Do they have? So you said like 6 has quality of life stuff.
yeah.
Does 1 and 2, like, do they get ways that speed up the game in any way, or?
Okay, so that's actually a fair. That's actually a good question because what they did was when they announced them for the. I don't know if they're on the actual Pixel remasters on Steam, but they are on PS4. So what they did was they gave you. I would actually recommend probably buying them on PlayStation because they have more quality. So they let you turn off random encounters, which is really fucking convenient for me when I'm trying to do 100% the game and have like finished an area entirely. I just want to get through the area, or like if I want to just like do like a quick run through the dungeon, grab all the chests, and then focus on actually like encountering shit. Uh, then they give you XP boost, so you can change it. You can get like up to 4 times XP, uh, or you
Nice.
can increase the amount of money you get too.
Okay, yeah. Final Fantasy 9 had some stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
Final
on
Fantasy
the
Seven
PC
did too.
version, you could
Final
just
Fantasy
press
Seven did
like,
also.
yeah, you could just press like F4 or something, and then all of your attacks would do 4 nines of damage.
Yeah,
So you just use that to grind, which is pretty cool.
and then on top of that, it's really convenient because the auto battle is sped up a lot, so it makes grinding 10 times easier too now.
Hell yeah.
So you're just like boom.
But, so,
You,
do they have the spell slot system in Final Fantasy 1,
yeah, they
or
do.
did
They
they
do.
transfer it to? Okay, they
It's
didn't do
they
an MV.
are yeah they are remakes of the original. So those spell
That's
slots
cool.
and stuff. Yeah, I like because
Interesting.
it's one of my favorite things
Oh
because
my god, I just got jump scared. Sorry.
they made it actually accessible. Like they basically remade the first one. All of them are remakes of like their original releases,
That's really cool.
minus like
All right,
bug
yeah,
fixes
that's a
and
lot
shit.
more appealing to me than like the DS
Yeah,
ones.
minus like bug fixes and stuff, but they fix some
Yeah.
bugs and all that jazz.
Well, I would assume they would. I don't
Yeah,
think they want to release a broken game.
which is excellent by the way because it's like there used to be a Power Peninsula in one where
Uh-huh.
if you know the peninsula, it's like right past the Chaos Shrine, I think, or like a little bit after like you beat Garland.
I think I only ever beat like the second dungeon in one, so I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, it's like right at the beginning of the game. You if you know how to abuse the system, you get like Fire 2. from like the second village that you visit, and like you basically like spam that, and you're fighting enemies from like dungeons that are like three dungeons ahead, and so you throw out a couple like multi-hit moves, and you skyrocket in levels. You'll go from like level 6 to maybe level like 13, then to like you just skyrocket in levels. Like it's a really early grinding spot.
Let's fucking go. That sounds
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, and I think
And
they
that
took
is
that out.
in
I'm
the
pretty sure
Pixel Remaster?
I think they took that out, but it was in the original. I
Oh,
think they took it out.
okay. Well,
I
if
mean,
they add other quality of life stuff, like you can turn off random encounters, like
it's so easy to level up in those games though that it doesn't really matter. Like,
okay, yeah, I should play them. I do like Final Fantasy games. I've just like never beaten a lot of them. I beat 10. I haven't beaten 6, which is a crime.
it is an actual crime because that is my favorite.
It's kind of my favorite too. I just haven't beaten it.
Yeah, there was some situations in the picture remaster where I was like almost crying because of like all the love that they put. Final Fantasy VI picture remaster, it probably has the most love out of all of them, but also probably because
It's
it's
the
the
most
one that has
deserving.
it's that, and it also is the one that has the most gameplay changes out of all of them.
Okay.
So like a lot of the stuff is like outdated, obviously, like like pressing like science like pressing the Bushido command and then waiting like 30 seconds for his gauge to fill up,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like obviously they were just adding a lot of quality of life stuff to make the game play more enjoyable, to the point where I recommend playing the Pixel Remaster Final Fantasy VI to anybody who's like, how do I play? It's the most definitive way to play it. Like, I'm
Damn.
sure you could play like Final Fantasy VI on like the SNES, and like get like that nostalgia, like, oh my god, I love this. But also, if you want to not suffer, you can play the Pixel Remaster, or you could get T Edition, which is a mod for the original Final Fantasy VI. That adds a bunch. It's adds a bunch of extra shit and
Okay.
like extra
It's like kind of a
dungeons.
mod,
Yeah, it's kind of like, how would I
a
describe
bit of a
it?
ROM hack.
It's I would imagine, yeah, it's a ROM hack, and it's like there's like bonus dungeons, there's like end game shit to do like after you beat Kefka. There's like a lot of extra shit you can do. You could fight bosses from old Final Fantasies. There's like new dungeons. Like if you talk to pub managers, there's like mini dungeons you can go into that give you like items and like different goals, and like there's so much shit that they add in the T edition, and also it's a lot fucking harder. Like,
Okay.
because
So that's
of course
like
it's a
that's like a good second playthrough
yeah.
sort of
It's like
deal.
it's like a after you beat Pixel Remaster, play T edition is what I'd say. If you want to play through
Okay.
like a completely, it's like Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster is a definitive experience, and Final Fantasy T edition is a different experience because there's so much different shit. They balance out like for example like melee, like you know how like everybody's stats are basically the same in the original Final Fantasy VI, but
Yeah.
they update all the characters. Like magic and physical attack is balanced. Your like melee, like your physical users are meant to be like really big tanks. Like they have big health pools and can do a lot of damage. And your mage users are really squishy but do a lot of damage. Also, like like it's basically they change it like normal Final Fantasy.
They do like AoE attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they changed it. Like they made your character usage actually kind of matter.
Yeah. Rebalanced.
Yeah, because Sabin has like a fuck ton of health. Like
Let's go. Like
Sabin
kind of the
gets a lot
monk.
of health. Yeah, like a lot of health, and is like does a lot of damage. He's a really good single target or like multi-target person. Yeah, there's like a lot of shit. I'm planning on playing through T edition, like fully, at some point.
Nice.
There's also like if you go back to Nash, like the first village that you go to, there's like an achievement area. Like you collect like stuff throughout the game. Like if you buy stuff at the auction house or whatever, like there's like achievement stuff in the game too.
Nice.
They changed so much, and it's so great.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I would uh, highly recommend playing that after you play Pixel Remaster.
Okay. Okay.
There's so much stuff. Like that's one of my favorite things about games is ROM hack stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking abolish IP. I said it.
Yeah.
No more intellectual property. Just let
Yeah.
people work with it.
Yeah.
Do you have any more topics you were looking to talk about?
I can look at the list. There was another. I think there was other stuff.
Oh shit, he's got a list.
I do have a list. Another one was I'm curious as to see like what deters you because as everybody knows, I love collecting trophies. But I'm curious to see like what is your like deterrent? Is it like time? Is it effort? Is it your sanity? Like,
Um, I don't know. I've got nothing to prove.
yeah, I don't.
I guess.
I just like collecting them because one, the sound of trophies popping is serotonin to me. So,
That's fair. That's fair. I
especially
do
like a
remember
harder,
the old Xbox Live, like Badoop. Like
yeah,
that was always fun for me.
yeah, and then
I
especially,
guess,
go ahead.
especially.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say. I guess. I feel like achievements in that way are kind of the laziest goal setting that a game designer can have.
Okay.
Um, like I was playing through Hi-Fi Rush a couple months ago,
Hmm.
and you know, there are like all these challenge levels that you're able to play after you beat the game, and those challenge levels actually unlock new content. But the new content is a good motivator for me, but a trophy isn't. Like a trophy doesn't
Yeah.
feel like anything. The trophy just feels like an end. Um, and I guess I don't know. Like it doesn't feel real to me
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
One of my favorite things about trophies is like one, I do my homework on trophies before I even like determine what
Yeah.
I want to platinum because if especially if I played the game before and it's like, oh, look at like all these trophies that you could do. I'm like, I'm not gonna want to do that shit. That's like an extra like 20, 30 hours of playing the game. I don't want to do that. But if it's like something I could work on, like for example, it's why like I wouldn't want to do the Final Fantasy 10 100% because you have to defeat Nemesis, which is you completing capturing all of the all of the monsters in the game that you can't even
Yeah.
start doing until the end of the fucking game. So
Yeah.
I can't like work towards that trophy throughout the entire thing. I think Final Fantasy X needs a remaster.
Well, I mean, they
Like
just recently.
sort of like a revamp of like some mechanics.
Well, I think I think the most recent, like the Final Fantasy X PC release and the Switch release, like was supposed to be kind of the remaster. They just didn't do really well at it,
Yeah, they just didn't do much.
unfortunately.
See the biggest thing that was a
Yeah,
part of it.
it's an HD remaster.
Yeah, the biggest thing a part of it was adding all the stuff from it's like the international version because in Japan, you know, like the original Final Fantasy X got like the Dark Aeons and all that other shit. So
Yeah,
basically, they were releasing like the Japanese version in the U.S. is basically all it really was.
yeah,
Was them like giving you all the content that Japan had in their version, which is fine. They've done that a few times with some Final Fantasy games. They just like, oh yeah, right. We kind of like spoiled Japan. Here's some stuff for the U.S. But like, it's also like, it's for the most part, it's platinuming games that I like or like games that I played before that I just like want to. It's like I know this game well enough to where I could platinum this game without wasting 100 hours of my life. You know?
yeah. That's fair. I guess I don't play games the same way that you do.
Yeah.
Like I have trouble finishing a game the first time, let alone going
Yeah.
back and playing it again.
Yeah. And especially like playing platinuming RPGs isn't like for me. It's not hard. It's just like time consuming. Because like for example, like platinuming Tales of Arise, it's not hard to do as long as you're like if you're playing the game you're supposed to, you'll probably get the platinum naturally. Because a lot of
Yeah,
it's just like doing a lot of the shit you do in a normal playthrough.
yeah,
Uh, but also, Tales of Arise isn't a good video game, so
yeah.
which is the saddest part because It's like the first Tales game that I played to completion,
Completion.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not very. I hope to God that the bar is higher for the other
Did you ever
games.
start playing Vesperia?
I have not.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm going to. My plan is to probably finish up a few other games
Also,
on my
playing
Switch.
Vesperia properly like takes some fucking research.
Yeah,
So, and I think you could probably do it. Like, if I was able to do it, you definitely can.
yeah.
But it's that game is cryptic. It does not tell you how to play it
One of the
correctly.
first things that I do is I look up how long, like for a normal player, like just
Hmm.
doing it for the fuck of it, not like your first time playing the game or whatever. How long would it take you to platinum the game? And
Yeah.
most RPGs are like maybe 60, 70 hours, maybe 40, 50, depending on if you have a guide. And
Yeah.
some of them are like, for example, like I looked up, hey, how long would it take me to platinum like Final Fantasy X? It's like, oh, that's like 100 hours. And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, also, if you want to platinum Vesperia, you need to follow a guide to the
Yeah,
letter.
yeah,
So I would suggest just playing it normally first. And then the cool thing about Tales games is the way that New Game Plus works. If you want to go back and platinum, your second playthrough is going to be significantly easier.
yeah.
You won't have to grind at all, and cutscenes are skippable. So I would suggest just like playing the game normally and then going back
I
and
think that's what was so weird for me about Arise because I looked it up and most people, like I was looking up guides and shit, like how like how many playthroughs. They're like, your first playthrough is kind of like beating the story, getting story trophies and like the little tiny trophies you can get in your first playthrough. And then the second playthrough is when like you do super boss stuff and all your major grinding and all that shit. And then
yeah,
like Tales of Arise only needs one playthrough, and the
yeah,
first playthrough isn't very fun because the game forces you to be on level.
yeah. I don't like how they dealt with the level scaling. I feel
And
like
boss,
I should be given the choice to be overpowered,
yeah,
and it's
you,
like it's kind of my fault if I am overpowered. But I guess the flip side of that is like the Xenoblade 3
mm,
conundrum where I cannot get to the point where I'm like on level anymore,
yeah.
and it's also screwing over my progress.
I mean, after you beat
So
the
it's kind
game,
of
you can change
the
your levels, which
balance.
is okay, I guess, because you're kind of like preparing for like all of the post game shit.
Yeah.
Uh, but also, it's kind of like I would like to be overpowered and not punished for it.
Yeah, I'd like for my jobs to be able to level up.
That'd be pretty lit.
That's really all I wanted.
Yeah,
But
because that's
I
where
was
most of your power is. It's not in your levels. It's in your
yeah,
like
it's in your passive abilities and your active
it's
skills,
it's like
and I
Final
can't
Fantasy's.
unlock anything anymore.
It's like Final Fantasy V, where like your level doesn't really matter. It's
Yeah.
how good can you make your characters at what jobs you want them to be, or like their specific role. Like I usually make Bart's like the heavy hitting classes, like he's like warriors and like samurais and all that. He's like
Yeah.
my damage dealer, and then like I have like
If
mages who
something
focus.
smells,
Yeah,
it's usually the butts.
I have I have mages. I have like a white mage who like can also be blue mage, and then
Hell
I
yeah.
have like a black mage who can be summoner or whatever the fuck I need him to be, like an all around
Right.
magic user. Like if I need a red mage, I can have him be a red mage. Also, another really good Final Fantasy like game is Crystal Project. I think I might have talked to you about Crystal Project before. Uh,
You might have, but I have forgotten.
Crystal Project is a semi open world Final Fantasy game, and um, your class like there's a lot of classes and you have to obtain other classes and then you have to do a bunch of other shit and like there's a lot of unique ways to like build your classes and stuff and I might have to stream it for you sometime and like show you uh
Okay.
but there's a
I'm looking at the
lot.
Steam page right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff about it. I like it. uh basically if you like Final Fantasy, like old school like turn-based Final Fantasy, you're gonna like Crystal Project.
Yeah.
It's really
Actually,
hard to.
I think my friend also told me about this at one point.
Yeah, it's really fun. I enjoy it,
Yeah,
and
it's cheap too.
yeah, most of my friends who have played it are like, yeah, this is great. Oh, have seen me play it. They're like, this is great. Minus like a few of my friends who are like, turn-based is gross, and I'm like, I told you it was turn-based. Why'd you buy it? But whatever. Like, I told you it was turn-based. You should
You
have
played
listened.
yourself.
Yeah, you should have listened.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff in it. I really like it. I haven't beaten it yet, and like the thing about it is that like every class is fully unique. Like they have their own skill trees, and like they have secondary class. It's like Final Fantasy V on crack. Like it's insane.
Okay. That sounds pretty cool.
And like character customization is really insane, and there's just a lot of cool stuff in it. Um,
I'll
talking,
wish list it.
we talked about Monster Hunter for a while.
Yeah, we did. I do have some homework to do, so I got like one more topic in me. If you got any.
Okay. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh no! What do you want to know?
Nothing. Actually, would you think that you, well, I guess I ask you, do you enjoy watching like tournaments?
Of Ultimate?
I would say just of any Smash game. I wasn't really like a fan of Melee until my friend started like showing me Melee tournaments, and I'm like, this shit is crazy. That and like all of the time, all of the because Melee's been around for so long. There's storylines, there's like rivalries, there's like insane,
yeah, it is. It's kind of like wrestling.
Yeah, it's like a generational
like eras
fighting.
and monarchs and
Yeah,
intrigue.
which is
Melee kind of just has a kind of magic that I don't feel in any other Smash like storyline.
Yeah.
So I like watching Melee. Ultimate is whatever.
It's just like Melee, like Ultimate.
So often too.
Ultimate at a top level is like okay until it isn't. Like you see basically the same. You see the same characters. There's rivalries and shit like MKLeo Tweak and like all this other shit. You know, like all the higher level players and shit. You know, like that. There's that. And then there's like not much else. You don't really see a whole lot of unique characters.
Yeah.
Like the only characters that are really like unique are like for example like Incineroar. Like and Incineroar's just been kind of like bodying top players and it's super fucking hype.
Let's go. I mean, you're definitely not going to get a lot of variety out of Melee.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's different play styles that like you can really tell who's playing what character in Melee.
Yeah. Like and I think like I said also like the storylines and shit are what sell me on Melee. Like Mango HBox like not really liking each other but like kind of like coming to terms with it and are just like they're not friends but they respect each other as players kind of sort of. And then Leffen just being like a demon time villain the entire time. I never liked Leffen. I respect Leffen as a player. I just don't like him as a person.
He's loud.
Yeah.
He's kind of a whiner. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of a whiner too, but I'm also not a huge celebrity figure online.
You're also not like a big dick about it. Cause, like,
I don't know about that one.
Well, you're not like, you can be a whiner and it can be fine. Just don't be like an asshole about your whining. Like when I was like, hey, you know, like you should try to play Crosscode, you know, and you're like,
I don't blame other people for my misfortunes most of the time.
Yeah, like when he's getting his ass whooped, like when he, like at the Ludwig Invitational, where he was like, we need to ban
blaming the crowd for his.
No, he was blaming HBox because HBox was camping, and he's like, HBox is camping, and everybody's like, that's what HBox does. Like that's HBox. It's also
he's
Jigglypuff.
Playing Jigglypuff.
Yeah, you have to remember that like if he gets hit, he dies. Like he's playing to the strengths of the character, kind of like, for example, like people hating Steve. Like they're like, oh my god, he's can't. But Steve is a completely different monster because Steve is like, hey, I'm gonna
I'm
camp
gonna be
you.
completely honest with you. I have no idea what's going on with Kazuya and Steve. I like briefly see some people talking about how they've like banned someone on Twitter.
Okay.
I'm like,
So the thing
I
about
do not
Steve
get
is
it.
Steve is fundamentally broken in his own right. Where Steve is like he's like the worst of everything in my opinion that Ultimate is. It's campy and it's really fucking slow and every character has fucking zero to deaths. But Steve has like all of that. He can camp you out and then he gains materials and then his materials make him even better as a character when he's already good. He has like he has 0 to 90 combos. He has instant he has like and in some cases he can kill you immediately. There's
Okay.
just a lot of shit. Kazuya is
He
like
just 0 to deaths, right?
he's really slow and like if you play any zoning character, he's really it's usually free. But that's the thing about Kazuya is every time he hits you, you take 90 or just die. Like
Yeah.
but
Well,
Steve,
and maybe instead of banning Kazuya, they should just like have a pocket zoner. I
yeah,
don't know. Seems like the landscape of the game.
yeah, just everybody has like a pocket zoner or like a pocket top tier or like a pocket high tier.
Yeah. Like the game has 100 fucking characters for
Yeah,
Christ's sake.
it's really
Like
hard
just
to find somebody. You'll
pick
find
two.
somebody.
Pick a second one.
You'll find
Figure it out.
You'll find somebody you're comfortable with in a matchup. I promise you.
Yeah.
Not like absolutely curb stomp the matchup, but like comfortable in it. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not like the best, but it gets the job done. Like Leo plays Pyramithra against like Sonic. Granted, out of all of his characters, that's the least tolerable one. Like he plays like Joker and Byleth, and Byleth versus Sonic sounds like ass cancer. So like same thing with like him and like he started. I think he started playing Min Min for like Rob for Min Min because the story behind that was like he was teaching Big Boss another uh, Spanish player or whatever. He was teaching him another Mexican player. He was teaching him how to like play Rob more, like play better. And so
Hmm.
he picked up Rob to help Big Boss learn Rob more, like learn the combos and like help him learn the character better. Like basically help him, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
so he started, so obviously he has like somewhat of a Rob now. So he started playing Rob for Min Min. And it's actually kind of funny because like he doesn't really play a whole lot of Joker, but he'll play Joker against Dabuz, only Dabuz. Like, like there was a tournament where like he played Byleth one game, and then no, actually no, he played Joker. Like he didn't play Joker for the rest of the tournament. He just beat Dabuz's ass with Joker. And Dabuz released a tweet. He was like, "Does Leo like not like me? Like, what's happening? Like, what did I do? Does Leo hate me?"
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. He's like, "What the fuck, dude?" You know, like it's kind of shit like that. And like, there's a lot of. I like watching high level Smash just because it's really intense, like seeing people understand. You know, like Spargo.
Yeah.
Watching Spargo is crazy. Spargo's like a fucking AI playing the game. Like he just knows what you're gonna do.
ChatGPT has gotten a hold of the GameCube controller.
He just traps you and you can't do shit and like he just suffocates you. And that's the kind of play style I want to have and also watch. Like the suffocating,
Right.
like you genuinely feel like you don't have any options. Like there's no options for you, and the only way you're gonna get off is if I fuck up, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of shit that I like watching. It's like watching him, watching people like Riddles, because like Riddles, like he plays all the fighting game characters, mostly just Kazuya now, and obviously people hate it. But you know, it's really funny watching
Sucks to
him.
suck.
Yeah, it's like, and also like the meta of Steve is they're still finding tech for Steve. The reason why they wanted to ban Steve was because Steve has a tech. It's really hard to do, but he has a tech where if you hit him and he doesn't get sent into tumble or like hit stun, if he doesn't get sent into tumble, he can cancel his hit stun and then act out of his moves immediately. Like he can immediately act out of it, which is why people.
Oh
started
yeah, I
banning
heard
him.
about this.
Yeah, which is why people started banning him
Yeah.
because they're like, no, you're not following the rules of the game anymore. Like, if
I don't know.
hit
Have they
you-
tried playing Melee?
Oh, fair. Have they tried playing Brawl where there's like no hits done?
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's fucking. These people need to grow up.
A lot of higher level people are
Ultimate
like,
players
listen.
are children.
A lot of people are like, listen. Like we let the shit slide in like Brawl in 4, and we kind of dealt with it. But now we should learn from this and like ban the characters before they get like really insufferable. And I'm like, but you're. And they wanted to ban Steve before that, mostly because viewership and like people didn't like Steve, and so that's why they were like, we want to ban Steve because we don't like Steve. And I'm like, that's not a good way to do it. And I just think it's what okay. I'm really sad because it's still on the topic of Smash, but it's also Monster Hunter. You can only use the ancestral step stage against Rathalos. Why did you not make that an actual stage? Why Nintendo? Do you not like me? What happened?
Yeah, they hate you.
I know it was at me. That I've also, fun fact, I've never gotten a Rathalos from an assist trophy ever. All of my friends have gotten at least 2. I've never gotten one. Well, like when my kids come over, they want to, they don't want me to absolutely beat their asses. I mean, they still get their asses kicked, but.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll probably call it here, Sarah. You can go do your homework and all that other fancy shit.
Yeah, I've been putting a lot of stuff off recently.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Thanks for
having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We can do more next month
We will.
or 2 weeks. I don't know.
We will reconvene and talk about games soon enough.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
I'm pressing the stop streaming button now. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.